So, hi, welcome back to the Good Noise Podcast. My name is Glory, and today I'm here with.
Alex, singer of Berlin-based metalcore band vianova.
Hell yeah. And today we're going to talk about their newest album, Hit It. So, congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the album so far?
Yeah, we're all feeling super well on that. I don't think we could have imagined a better, just like debut release.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it has been a lot of work to make that happen or on our end, so we're not like taking that for granted, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has just been super cool, just like seeing the album make its rounds in the internet, and also like playing the first concerts after that, like just seeing the real life response has been super cool,
Hell yeah.
honestly.
Awesome. Well, obviously, I listened to the record ahead of the interview. This shit blew me away. It was absolutely
Thank you.
incredible. So dynamic. I kept getting new favorite tracks while I was going through it. You guys fucking crushed it. Shit fucked.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you.
Of course. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Let me think. I think we have to split both of those.
Mm-hmm.
With the album title, we were looking for one for a longer time, and I think I think I came up with the album title, and like for me, I've been thinking about this for like maybe a year, maybe even longer,
Mm-hmm.
even. And I personally, I have the thing where I always like come up with way too long titles, or like I have a problem just like choosing the right title. It's also a pain in the ass with like some songs.
Yeah,
Sometimes I just know it. Sometimes it's very hard for me to just like get that one thing and like summarize everything. And like with an album,
exactly.
you have like 11 songs. You're like, okay, here are a few words that express all of it, right?
Everything, yeah.
But yeah, and like we as a band before that, we always had like just longer titles. With our first EP, it was very long. Like
Mm-hmm.
then we had like a double EP, which were like two titles, but like together
Yeah,
they
yeah.
made a sentence. So we always like had those sentences. And I personally, I really wanted something that was like just like straight to the point. I was like, okay, but just
Yeah.
like this thing. And then at a certain point, it was super funny because we had this phrase hit it in in the first single of this album, Mas Rapido. I
Mm-hmm.
say it at the start, hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so it was like in front of our eyes the whole time. I even had it in our Instagram bio from like day one, like from the day we released it. And at some
Yeah.
point, I know like Paul, our drummer, and me, we were like discussing merch, and we were
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we could do a like a hat, or, like a dad hat, and maybe we would
Mm-hmm.
put like hit it on the side. I was like, wait a second,
Like, wait a minute.
wait a minute, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
hit it. Like that's just it fits it so well, just
Mm-hmm.
because like it's to the point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it has a certain vibe to it. It's just like yeah, like we're just like going for it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Which
Yeah.
even though it's not like this is a surface level album, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the spirit of the music, the vibrant, expressive nature is really contained in that one single phrase. And
Definitely.
so yeah, we liked it. We stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And with the album cover, I mean, you can see I'm wearing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
The hat and glasses thing, it wasn't like really intentional at the start, but it turned out to be something that was like quite recognizable. And like from some people from the outside, like told us almost like even iconic in a way,
Yeah.
where like you could put it somewhere and people would recognize it. So like
Mm-hmm.
we're like, okay, yeah, it also fits that spirit of like having a title that is like to the point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a graphic designer. I did the cover myself,
Wonderful.
right? So
Yeah.
so I also like wanted to have something that's just like simple, to the point, symbolic, that
Mm-hmm.
is like not too convoluted, because like with these album covers you can really go into as much detail as you want, or you
Absolutely.
can keep it simple. And I think if you want to keep it simple, yeah, you just have to nail it down, or like boil it down, sorry, to the base ingredients. And in that
Mm-hmm.
case, I think that also like felt representative of like the visual style of the band, and also like color wise it also like is representative, just because we have the white,
Mm-hmm.
the green tone, and also the orange of the glasses, which is also like those are three colors that yeah, we try to include a lot like in our outfits and in other stuff. So yeah,
Ah.
that's the reasoning behind that.
Hell yeah. So, at what point in the album making process did the title come to fruition? Was it towards the end? Because I know you were talking about merch, and that's when you kind of had your light bulb moment. So, when did that
Yeah,
become the title?
totally towards the end. So everything
Mm-hmm.
was written up until that point. I think even like after everything was recorded.
Oh, wow. So, the very
Yeah,
end. So, closer to
yeah,
down to
yeah,
the wire. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally,
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
towards the end. I think it was like we played a show with North Lane and Whitechapel, and I think it was like around the second date. I don't remember if it was like July,
Mm-hmm.
could be July, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Wow. Damn. All right. Love it. Fresh. And are you able to tell me a little bit about your writing process for this record?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So the writing process was quite different from the music we did before. Um, just because like the two EPs we did before, there it was mostly Felix, our guitarist, like
Mm-hmm.
writing out all the instrumentals himself. Then Paul coming in, also like, adding details to the drums, and then me like basically slapping my vocals on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raul, our bassist, he would just like back in the day, like there wasn't a lot of like playful stuff on the bass. Sometimes, yes, he would then write that, but there was also like a lot of like him following the guitar as is like quite typical with
Yeah.
metal. And with this record, what was really interesting is that we got to meet Leon, our producer, just by chance. He's not like a professional producer by any means, which
Mm-hmm.
is ironic just because like he's so good.
Yeah.
He's actually a roofer by trade, so he like
Oh.
building roofs. Yeah,
Wow.
just because
Yeah.
his dad, yeah, he owns a roofing company, so
Mm-hmm.
like he's doing that with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him through a friend and like just started doing music with him, and then we got like to hang out with him. And at a certain point, I was like, yeah, how about we just like go to Leon's just because he's such a gifted like producer and musician, and we just like I wanted him to just do sound design, just yeah, try just some additional
Try it
production
out.
stuff
Yeah.
on like some just a song that was basically like two songs that were done at this
Mm-hmm.
point. And then what happened was that we ended up like just writing together just because like the vibe was so good. And like in a way, Leon, like Felix, our guitarist, he's like a slow guy with his process, but like in a good way. He takes his time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not as like technically savvy. Like he owns a flip phone, which is good because
No.
like yeah, he does. And it's funny because like we're this like people are saying like we're this TikTok band,
Uh-huh.
and then, like social media band. Like Felix, our guitarist, he owns a flip phone. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't even
You can't even get
he's
TikTok on
never
that.
yeah, he's never been to TikTok. He
Yeah.
doesn't have Instagram. Like he's perfectly tuned out of everything,
God, the
right?
dream. Yeah.
So like when somebody says, "Yeah, you guys are just making music for TikTok," bro, we can't. We can't because our guitarist like he's not
Exactly.
even like he can't even access it,
Can't
man.
even go on
So
TikTok.
yeah, he can't even fucking go on TikTok.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, like he's which is very good because like he's much more like not as brain rotten
Right. Yeah.
by,
Yeah. He's
by
disconnected
that,
from all that. Yeah.
which is good for like I think his artistic process.
Mm-hmm.
And like Felix, sorry, not Felix, Leon in a way is the entire opposite because like Leon is like our producer. He's a very like sporadic ADHD, also like very very talented guy, and
Yeah.
Leon is like able to just churn out ideas in a
Mm-hmm.
second. And what ended up happening is that Felix, like we had songs that he wrote entirely, but also like the first session where it really clicked with him
Mm-hmm.
was him like Felix bringing a song that was I think either marimba or masrapi though that was like like finished, half finished,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and we just wanted to work on like some production stuff, and then we ended up just like finishing the writing on like the same day or maybe the day after. We like stayed overnight at his place,
Oh
right?
wow. Yeah.
So that was super cool because like we were able to like blow through like this creative plateau that you can have where you're just like chewing on a song for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So like just because like, you have like a different dynamic of like being like, okay, what could we do? And then Leon is like, okay, I have this idea. And then we're like, oh wait, but how about we do that
Yeah. Yeah.
instead? So
Yeah.
like we like the first time we're able to basically write together in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Um so that was like super different
Mm-hmm.
compared to the way we did it before,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And ultimately Leon then also ended up like just producing and mixing the whole record,
Mm-hmm.
and which also wasn't planned before just because like he hasn't done that ever
Yeah.
in his life.
Ever.
He has like just like written and mixed his own music, but he
Mm-hmm.
has never in his life like produced a full metal record. So it's
Yeah.
it's his first, which is yeah, crazy basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like with this dynamic, it's just like just changed things up. Where sometimes like like as we developed the record in a way, I think like Felix and me in a way were in the creative driving seat just because like with this I also had just a lot more like before that I would just like react to what Felix would be doing, and
Mm-hmm.
now I also like we co-developed in a way just like the identity of sound
Yeah.
and like where we want to take this. We just like it's wild because like we didn't even have to talk about it really. We just
It just happened.
for some reason there was just this mutual understanding of just like knowing what we want to do.
Yeah.
Um and feel like Raul, like bassist, and Paul, drummer, they were acting, I think, more of um like b- just like musician handyman, like just just working out their parts.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like coming in at that step, Raul also like, yeah, he helped on like maybe some like just music theory stuff, working out some chords, also like two riffs, two, three, like the bigger riffs, like Raul also helped on that. So like, sometimes somebody would come in and help on that, but
Of
like that
course.
was basically the structure
Yeah.
of that and the way we like assembled this record over time.
Wow. So moving forward, do you think you guys are going to adapt to that new structure and that new approach to writing, or do you think you're going to
Yeah.
default back to the original one?
No, no, no. I think we will totally like keep it that way just
Hmm.
because like it has proven to just open up so many more just like possibilities just
Yeah.
because like that way, I mean, like just like thinking the whole song
Hmm.
while writing is such a step up because like you
Yeah.
can make things happen where you consider vocals
Hmm.
like before, for instance, which we didn't like ever really do before that,
Yeah.
which in my opinion just like makes the songs just better because they're more coherent. It's
Hmm.
not like, you're just like slapping stuff on top of each other, but like it
Exactly.
seems like I think the quality of songs just like the songs just ended up better.
Hmm.
um yeah, and we were just like able to do something that is, I think, stylistically
Hmm.
still all over the place but like
Hmm.
more refined,
Yeah.
and also
Absolutely.
just like having like, as I said, like I think like Felix's strength in songwriting, like he has like really cool left field ideas and cool riff ideas,
Hmm.
and also like really like a beautiful just feeling for like chords and harmonics and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
think like he's really gifted with that,
Hmm.
right? But like he doesn't have like the technical like production abilities that a Leon has, for instance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, and also like Leon, for instance, he also like wrote some drums just because he has been a drummer for like since he was 4 years old, and
Oh
like
wow.
also
Yeah.
like piano parts and everything.
Yeah.
So like those are like things where like he's just like adding his musical abilities that just like fit the like it's like a puzzle, and he's a
I was
piece
gonna
that like
say.
fitted perfectly, right?
Hmm.
And that's something like we just wouldn't have without him,
Hmm.
and that's like for me is just was the biggest level up in process wise, and I don't think like we could go back at this point
Yeah.
to like the process.
Exactly. It definitely sounds like Leon was your missing piece, and it's
Yeah,
exactly what you needed to kind of take that next step in the band's evolution. That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
yeah, totally felt
Hell
like
yeah.
that. And also like one thing, I don't want to like overdo it, but one thing that I noticed, we recently had a session working on something, and one thing that was interesting is that I noticed that just because like the process now changed, we were like our approach or just like the way we view songs now, I feel like
Hmm.
changed a bit, where we're not so much like, yeah, what riff could come there, and it's more like, okay, should we do this part, should we do this part, should we like use this part there. It's more like when
Yeah.
you're in a production, like, digital audio working station, and
Hmm.
you're like have the blocks, and you're much more like production and song focused rather than it just being like limited to just, okay, riff 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 and that's the song, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Kind of boxing yourself in before you could even start, really.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
love it. So, what song off the album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Phew, I think I have to dwell on this for a bit.
Take your time.
I mean, I would argue the songs, I think like I could tell you like what song was written in the shortest amount of time, but
Sure.
like finished in the longest amount of time. I think like
Hmm.
whatever, all right, like really, that is one song where Felix had the original demo, which was like 1 minute of the song,
Hmm.
just like an intro and the main riff,
Yeah.
right? And but like it was like we had it in like a drive folder just because like we weren't sure if it like fits the album. And
Yeah.
one day I think I did like a vocal demo of like just the original like rapping idea, just because I was listening to I think a lot of like Timbaland, Nelly Furtado stuff at the time, and like I caught the vibe, and I wanted to do something similar
Yeah, hell yeah.
in a way. And then I did it, and I sent it, I think, to Felix. But like before that, I was like, yeah, no, the song doesn't fit the album. We can't do it. But because like it was way more electronic at the time, and then I sent it to Felix, and ironically, like he was like working, like he also picked it back up and was working on it the
Oh,
same time.
yeah.
So like then we decided, or like then we were like, okay, I think we have to explore this. We went to Leon's, and I think like we had like 2 sessions, I think, where like basically wrote 2/3 of the song, basically up until like the breakdown, just because like at that point we were like, okay, the song, like we got this tension release thing, it's building, it's building, it's building, but like we need this big moment to finish it off, and like, but it cannot be too predictable,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also like make it too random, just because the whole song is like so, it's contained in itself in a way, you know
Exactly.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But you don't want to be like too self-referential and just like do the motive from before
yeah.
again, right? So
Exactly.
like I think we did that in a few sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Let some time pass, and like I don't, maybe two weeks later or something, we had another one on the weekend, and ended up finishing it. So like that was super super quick. Just like maybe I didn't remember it correctly, but and also like Felix obviously worked on it before, but like from the basic demo to like the finished song could
Yeah.
be like 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
really. However,
Okay.
which is super fast for us. I don't know. Maybe they're like
Gotcha.
some professional songwriters, like hearing this, they're like, we finish a
Oh,
song in two
in a
hours,
day. Exactly.
in a
Oh my
day.
god.
I
Yeah.
take 1 hour for my songs. You are
Exactly. It's
not
easy as that.
professional.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
Fucking
Yeah, I
hell.
snipped my finger and I made a song. No, but what's super funny, like and ironic about that,
Mm-hmm.
the original version of Whatever Alright, which was much more electronic. Like
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have like the sub kick and like more Timbalandish like sounding things in there. It was like synthesizers. It was um more like modern metalcore sounding
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Like the sound design was like set up, and that was like for me a real deal breaker. And I was really like thinking like so long, like, oh fuck, can we put this on the record or not?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like too disconnected from all the other songs.
Yeah.
And then like but Leon kept saying, yeah, but it's like maybe just the one outlier on the album, maybe that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, like Felix and me ended up like pushing for revisiting it.
Okay.
And but I think it was like also like 2 months before we wanted to release the song, so like also way
Oh
too late,
wow.
but way
Yeah.
too late. But like so we ended up also like pushing back the release. It was kind of stupid at the time. However, it was worth it, just
It
because
worked
like
out. Yeah.
it worked out, but
Mm-hmm.
it took us so long. Like we had so many sessions
Yeah.
at Leon's place, just trying out so many different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is like it sounds so simple the way it is now, with like the dun 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 dun, just this kick pattern
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
the more stripped back production. But until we got that idea, we had to like maybe a month had passed, and also like we tried just like working with another producer buddy of ours, just like being like, hey, can you send us maybe stems of like a cello playing that? And then he
Mm-hmm.
sent it to us, and we're like, fuck, it doesn't work. And like we tried like other stuff, and it didn't work out. So like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't really like we got an idea and then we were able to build off that. Like I think 80% of the time was just like spent bashing our head against the wall. But at
Yeah.
that point,
Yeah.
it really wasn't possible to like include the original version of the song there. But
Mm-hmm.
then once we like broke through that and had the intro idea, like we knew, yeah, this is fresh, and like it
Mm-hmm.
was totally worth it.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately, like if like songwriting again 2 weeks, but like ending up with like those last
Yeah.
maybe even 10% of like sound identity and production, like that
Mm-hmm.
took 2 months
Two
maybe.
months. Yeah. Of just
Yeah,
hitting your head against the wall trying to figure out what's
pretty
missing.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. And then your personal favorite off the record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Let me think. I mean, I really like all the songs. I think I don't know. I think um I really like. I mean, maybe my gut. I can't really say like, because just I like a lot of them. My recent favorite was like, which I ended up listening more to, was Marimba, just because
Ooh.
I ended up just like finalizing that vocally like as the last song, so it feels the newest to me personally. So it's
Okay.
more exciting. I
Mm-hmm.
also really like Obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I like all the songs, like just because like it's like all of them are also like puzzle pieces to the album, so it's
Of
not
course.
like one of those works exclusively, you know what I mean? It's
They
just,
stand together. Yeah.
yeah, they stand together. I know
hmm
it's not the a good answer to this question, but
No, I'd rather get. I love all of them than. That's hard. I'm not really the biggest fan of some of them. So it's like, I'd
yeah,
rather get that then. It's good.
yeah. But right now, I think like Marimba is the most exciting, just because like I've had it as a rough demo for so long, and now it feels like I'm listening to it. Like it feels the newest, basically.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. And how did the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener to be the opener, closer to be the closer? Did you shuffle around to see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, I think we there was a time where we like had parts of the songs finished in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Like the you could say the record was half baked,
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
And then I think we just like met up and were talking about just the track list and running order, and we ended up settling even on the final one.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think at that point a song like Ooh Ya Ya, like the heavy, crazy heavy one, wasn't even written, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even conceived.
Wow.
But yeah, we maybe we didn't even have the first song at that point. But like to answer the second part of the question,
Mm-hmm.
there are songs that were specifically written to be at certain points. For instance, like Squire Talk, the intro song was supposed to be the intro song. We met up. We were like, okay, we're gonna write an intro song.
Yeah.
So we did that, and
Mm-hmm.
that ended up being Squire Talk.
Mm-hmm.
A song like Ooh Ya Ya, for instance, it was also supposed to be like to come between Future Nostalgia and Obsolete, like
Mm-hmm.
in a later, part of the record, just because we felt like, okay, the album really just like needs one crazy heavy song.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a lot of like just more melancholic, just like chill songs. Maybe we just like need to have like one more big
Mm-hmm.
heavy boom moment on the record, just to like make it feel complete.
Yeah.
Obsolete was written as a closer, as it was also like inspired by a closing track.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, and it also, I think like the Obsolete also like started with a chorus idea by me, and I also had the structure in mind, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like inspired by another closing track of another artist. So like, it not a metal artist, but like I
Yeah.
wanted to have it as a closing track. And it just like fit perfectly as the closing track also.
Okay.
And like a song like Oh No Believer
Mm-hmm.
was also like written to be just like to sit somewhere in the middle of the record. Just because like it was like intended to be just like a fun banger track that like you can place in the record, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like you just listen to it and then like, yeah, cool, this is a like it's like a slide at a water park where you just like get on the slide and like
Yeah.
you slide through, and
Yeah.
like before you even know the song is over, you're like, oh, this was cool, next song, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not like
Do
this
it again.
big
Yeah.
epic, yeah, it's not like
Exactly.
this big epic drawn out thing like
Mm-hmm.
other songs on the record, like kind of written to balance out other parts,
Exactly.
really.
Gotcha. I
Yeah.
just want to say, Ooh Yeah Yeah was my personal favorite. That
Oh,
song,
that's cool.
incredible. So I'm curious, what do you bring into consideration when you are making a song specifically to be the opener and specifically to be the closer? What like traits are you looking for in those tracks?
I think with the opener, I don't think that there was in the session itself so much like intention about like what it should be. It would
Mm-hmm.
just be like, yeah, how about we start like that? And then I think
Yeah.
we had like it was based like yeah, I think we would just like started with a blank session, and then it was like synthesizer first, or like the drum groove first, could also even be like the drum groove of Squire Talk with like
Mm-hmm.
the room mic kind of setup, just that, and like building that. I think then I had like this, like once the rough like surroundings were built, like with the yeah, with the synthesizer and like the drums, I think I had a vocal idea. I was like, yeah, how about I do that
Mm-hmm.
with auto tune? And then I think we built the intro, and then it was like, yeah, and now we'll just gent.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like it was just like building that, like, being like, okay, what could be like the first thing you hear on the record, building
Mm-hmm.
the intro, so like you get like, how do you say, introduced well into the world of
Exactly.
this album. And then after that it was like, okay, how about let's like we just go crazy,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So like I don't think there was much intentionality. This was also like one of the songs, I think, the only song really that Leon had like a leading hand in with writing.
Hmm.
And he like it was just like a stream of consciousness, just going crazy, working on the different parts, trying to just make a cool song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that just like felt right
Mm-hmm.
when you like just also having the idea, okay, like you start the album and this is the first thing you hear. It
Yeah.
just felt very good with this particular song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I mean with the closer, it's just um again like I don't want to like take too much credit just because like Felix ended up being like the musical architect of like the whole piece, but
Yeah.
like as I said, the and this is like the first and only time that has happened like in band history where this song was like again in the core like my idea, where I had this chorus and I knew I like wanted to do like a drawn out ballady song
Mm-hmm.
in like three, how's it called, like time signature of 3/4,
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
like I knew the time signature and like what I wanted to feel like, and I had like the lyrics of like the again like the end. I had the end part, like the whole spoken like shouted word thing, the whole monologue thing. I
Mm-hmm.
had that, and also like the choir idea and the idea of just like evolving this chorus for the whole song and making it bigger and bigger and bigger until you have like this final resolve. And like since the like it was inspired by a song of from Tyler the Creator, a rapper,
Yeah.
and by the closing track of Igor,
Oh yeah.
his album like Are We Still
Are we
Friends?
still
It's
friends?
also yeah, it's also 3/4 time signature track that also like it has this rolling feeling and
Mm-hmm.
also like builds up
Just
bigger
gets
and
bigger and
bigger
bigger. Yeah.
until you have this emotional resolve. So that was something that I thought would be super cool. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's okay if you rip it off if you're not in the same genre.
Exactly. You know, there you get a pass. You get a pass.
Yeah, and and it was basically just like the combination of Are We Still Friends by Tyler the Creator, and
Mm-hmm.
also like there's another song called Sorry of like his later album.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, not
Like the
sorry.
yeah, this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. And like there he also like has this big epic like grand, this part where he's like really getting into it with the
Mm-hmm. It just
lyrics,
gets
and
bigger.
it
it just
is bigger and
snowballs.
more
Yeah.
intense
Mm-hmm.
until it then like just like, drops out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
It's
So
so
like,
yeah. Oof.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know the song. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
you,
god,
you know
come
what I'm
on.
talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so I actually like the lyrics of like that outro for Obsolete were written like exactly after I heard the track, just because like it just like triggered something in me. I didn't want to do the same thing, but like just having this, kind of like trauma dumping on the audience like
Yeah,
so intensely,
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
having it like also like grow. That was something. So like basically the idea was to have both of those songs
Mm-hmm.
together as like a metal ballad, and again, since Are We Still Friends is also like a closing track, it just like
Mm-hmm.
it felt right to like do this as a closer. It just felt like
Exactly.
the perfect closer to this album.
Yeah.
So it's not as original as one might think, but that's how inspiration can work sometimes, right?
Exactly. You were inspired. You didn't rip. You were inspired. Yeah.
That's true.
Hell yeah. And would you be able to tell me where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
I mean, wow, this is like it's a simple question, but it's also like a very like broad and hard question. Just
Mm-hmm.
because like I think there are two things here, right? There's like our intention as a band and as
Mm-hmm.
artists going into this record, what we wanted to achieve, just
Yeah.
like make something that feels fun, vibrant, but is also like still like in a way like emotionally honest and
Absolutely.
impactful. I think that was something that we want to do. Also like just like build and express an identity of the band that just feels yeah much more refined and like
Mm-hmm.
maybe true to what we're feeling right now. I think that was something that was definitely the intention here, and also just like going crazy and just like exploring what we can do and how we can just like push our boundaries. I think I wouldn't talk about like pushing music's boundaries just because that's so depending on what genre you listen to, you're either like, wow, this is fresh, or you like, wow, this
Mm-hmm.
sounds like something I've heard before, right?
Mm.
And on the other hand, I mean, working on something like that for such a long time, like it's very demanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the other side, the reality of working on a record like that is like it's exciting, it's cool, it makes you like get up drive to the sessions and like just keep doing your other stuff. But obviously, it also takes a toll on you just because like I would say like we gave everything
Yeah.
to that album at like like individual members at like certain points, not
Mm-hmm.
everybody at the same time probably, but like everybody just like gave a lot of energy into that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something in a way that also like takes a part out of your life, which is very bittersweet in a way,
Yeah.
just because after 2 years you like take a look back at your life, you're like, okay, I've achieved this, but like I'm left with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Give and take, as you said, bittersweet, but it's like
Yeah.
now the world has it. So
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's a
totally,
little win.
totally. And life is changing, so like in a way,
Mm-hmm.
you got what you wanted.
Exactly, good and
but it,
bad.
but it
Yeah.
good and bad, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
yeah.
And how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Uh, I think that's I would advise everyone to do it in a way where they can, I guess, like enjoy it the most, and also
Mm-hmm.
like listen to it, but also listen to it like consciously. I think I
Okay.
wouldn't like
Yeah.
set the exact situation,
Mm-hmm.
but if you listen to it consciously in the car on a long ride, do that. If you're running and you listen to music that way, do that. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't put it like on in the back as a
Exactly.
first listen. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If you're like talking to friends or hanging out or whatever, I think I wouldn't advise that. Just like
Mm-hmm.
consciously listening to it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that situation might be for you.
Yeah. Pull the lyrics up, really deep dive into it, get into it.
If you want to do that, you can also do that, of course.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Right. And this one
Nice.
should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Um, fun, vibrant,
Ooh, okay.
chaotic.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Perfect. All right. And in the same vein as that last question, but not as much pressure, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to evoke in your listeners?
Yeah, I think there's like this one emotion that I feel very strongly, that is like, I think it's like that bittersweetness where you're like very happy but you want to cry,
Mm-hmm.
or like you're very sad but it's for the right reason. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like certain movies that have like this type of atmosphere, just like
That
music
pull.
that
Mm.
where you like really like you're emotionally in shambles but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
think
felt
that's one of
something.
my,
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that I like really, I think like the music that affects me the most usually like gives me that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the first emotion, but also like if you just have fun with the record, that's also okay.
That works too, I guess. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. And are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
I mean, yeah, I think like one thing that I personally like didn't anticipate to be so challenging is that
Mm-hmm.
we started releasing this album when it wasn't even finished.
Oh, oh
Like the
wow.
first
Yeah.
the first single we did, like the record wasn't done,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it wasn't like we were just like the idea was basically that we drop a song early, then we finish the record, then we start dropping singles,
Mm-hmm.
then we work towards it. So like that way we just like we're like a little bit ahead,
Yeah.
right? And it ended up working out because the album came out, and we just had a lot of just connections made already, like
Mm-hmm.
amassed more audience. Like it worked out, the plan worked
Yeah.
out, like we didn't do it wrong. However, I didn't anticipate how hard it would be, like
Mm-hmm.
time wise,
Mm-hmm.
to keep releasing like new music,
Mm-hmm.
work on the content and promotion, because I also like had this
Oh
plan in
yeah.
my mind. Okay, now we're going to push really hard on social media, which
Mm-hmm.
I concepted all of that. I like cut and edit, like I edit all of these videos, so it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of work.
Of
Like
course.
doing that
Yeah.
while like still finishing the songs,
Mm-hmm.
planning music videos, then
Mm-hmm.
later like recording music videos, then starting to rehearse the songs, because like concerts are
The
coming
night
up, stuff like
before.
that. So like
Yeah.
there was a certain time where we were basically in every phase of a band that you could be at, like you weren't like in the like it's not like you had the writing phase, then you
Mm-hmm.
had the releasing phase, then you had the rehearsal
You
getting
had a
ready
little
for a live
break.
phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a real like we just like had all of those
Mm-hmm.
at the same time,
Insane.
and it was my like I think I pushed for the idea. It was my fault. It
Mm-hmm.
was our fault for doing it.
Uh-huh.
Could have known it better. I would never do it again like that.
Fuck no.
I think
Yeah.
just yeah, maybe I'm like in a year I'm like fuck we need to do it
It
again.
worked. It worked. Let's do
Yeah,
it
it
again.
worked. It
Ooh.
worked. It just works when you just like drain yourself of all life and work all the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a like real crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just like not that smart. Like
Mm-hmm.
it worked, but like it still like was way harder and yeah
Exactly.
than I had anticipated.
Exactly.
Also like so much pressure. Like it
I
was.
was gonna
I think
say.
it's a small wonder that we didn't end up like slacking on any of the music just because like there were certain points where you could easily like have said like oh no it's okay like that, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like oh yeah
Yeah.
we can
It's,
drop it like that, we can
yeah.
put it out like that, nobody care, you know what I mean, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy we didn't do that. We like still maintained a high like just like quality expectation for our own output because like I just see like I just saw like how maybe just bands or like creatives could put out like subpar work if
Mm-hmm.
the conditions around them are very like demanding and stressing them. But ultimately there is like one thing I noticed also is as a young creative if you're like coming up,
Mm-hmm.
um obviously you have the feeling of like just time pressure and like time is running away, and also like once you're in this there's always something to work on, there's always something to, you know, you could always like put out music, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can like we could like get back in the studio now, work on an EP, shit it out just to keep the algorithms engaged.
Yeah.
However, one thing that I also like came back to, as my silver lining if you want to say so, is that the good like the classics are forever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the
Of
good
course.
albums they are forever. Like
Oh
there's
yeah.
this incentive right now and also this idea that is in a way true, like if you just put out more you will be more successful and
Mm.
you know like put out faster or like you know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like in content. However, like if you have one good amazing song
Oh yeah.
sometimes that can be enough, so like it's
Mm-hmm.
still worth it to just like chill
Mm-hmm.
and like give things the time they take, you know, it
Exactly.
takes,
Yeah.
right?
Give it time to
Yeah,
breathe. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm very curious because you were releasing tracks as you were still working on the album. At any point, did you allow the audience's, I guess, reaction to the tracks you were releasing dictate how you moved forward with the tracks that were still in process?
um Let me think. No,
No.
not really. Just because like the general reaction was like people reacting to certain characteristics of the
Mm-hmm.
songs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
However, the songs are so different from one another that it's not really possible to like apply, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something from one song to the other. Also, there was a point where like songs were done with
Mm-hmm.
like the later like batches of singles where we were just like done with writing, like we were
Mm-hmm.
probably recording or like maybe also like mixing them. There were, you know, certain stages of productions
Of course.
that came after.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I think we were maybe still like when whatever All Right released, like that was something we were still like, as I said, like working on, and where songs weren't really finished. But like after that, I think we had the writing finished. We're just like wrapping up either recording or
Mm-hmm.
mixing and mastering. So like no real just like room for writing there. But like even then,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, like the characteristics are so different. Like there's no way like when somebody says oh you know the Uyaya breakdown is so heavy that wouldn't affect the obsolete or like you know
Of
another
course.
song just because you know they're so different from another.
Yeah.
And I also like yeah I don't think that that's something we want to do as a band, just like you know
Yeah.
like maybe it's something that slips in subconsciously at a certain point, but
Mm. It's never a
consciously
conscious
we
decision. Yeah.
yeah.
Heard. All right. And for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Great. So for this question, we're going to go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Let me think. Also a hard question. What would
Mm-hmm.
my last meal be
With a drink.
with a drink?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think I would take like a doner kebab from Berlin.
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, specific one. Like there's like, beef doner, but there's also like chicken doner kebab,
Yeah.
which is like a Berlin specialty. And there's like one specific place where I grew up in south of town, which I would get just because it's so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And the drink I would have, I think, I would take. It's a Berlin, like, not German drink. It's called Spezi. It's
Okay.
like a mix of Coke and orange soda, basically.
Interesting combo.
50-50. Is that
Yeah.
not a thing in America?
No, that is such a interesting. I never would put orange and cola together. That's
You can try. I mean, if you
mm,
don't have it, you just like mix Fanta and Coke,
with
like
Coke.
50-50,
Yeah.
or like maybe 60 Coke, 40
60.
Fanta.
Okay.
I tried.
I
It's good.
won't. I won't doubt your judgment. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And
Berlin, or German's special there.
is it they got special drinks over there? Hell yeah. Uh, and if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Better pick a good one. Better pick a chill one.
Right.
Uh,
Not super dangerous.
Not super dangerous.
Hmm. Or you can
Uh,
live life on the edge type shit, you know?
yeah, no, I think I just want to chill for a while.
A little break, yeah.
uh, oh my god, wait, I have to think, I have to think, I have to think. What was
Hmm.
one that I was. Why is it so hard? I'm just so oversaturated. I just also like only watch negative shit, so.
Yeah. Like Killing in Danger, yeah.
Yeah, and like thrillers and
Yeah.
whatever. What is something I maybe just like a nice Studio Ghibli movie
Oh, yeah.
that's like cute.
Hmm.
I think something like that. Just maybe it's called Porco Rosso. Maybe that would. It's a
Wonderful.
Studio Ghibli classic. Just
Nice.
chilling at the beach and people laughing and it being nice.
And it being beautiful and like not deadly or
Yeah,
dangerous. Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And for this last question, every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is your favorite color? Hmm. It's a toughie.
I can't answer. That's the problem. So as I said, I'm a graphic designer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like I maybe like color palettes, but
Hmm.
like you know
A single
they,
color.
th those are also like dependent on like the context,
Hmm.
right? Right now I don't know why I'm wearing a lot of green,
Yeah.
so maybe right now green is a color I like, but
Hmm.
yeah, I like all the colors.
Good fit. Green is great, and also all the colors fuck. So I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, as I said, that's all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Um, yeah, we're playing live in Germany with Oralize.
Hmm.
There's like tickets left for Vienna still. So like if one person from Vienna's listening, that's
Hmm.
your sign to get a ticket.
Hmm.
Signed by God. Do it now.
Hell yeah.
Swipe that credit card. And also, we're playing in England first week of February 2026.
Hmm.
So all you Englandians, go grab a ticket
Hell yeah. I gotta use that.
for our for our tour with Shields, and there's
Hmm.
also other stuff coming up that I can't talk about right now.
Oh, hush hush. All right. Well,
Shush, yeah.
thank you so much for sitting down with me. This has been Alex from Vianova, and I have been Glory from the Good Noise Podcast.